Here we are, live again. Con te Gnomo e con te Opossum.
Con voi.
And con voi, everyone. Okay, so tonight is the 19th episode of the Damanhur talks. And tonight we're gonna talk about a super interesting topic that is arts and magic. We're also going to talk about the role of the artist, the role of the art in our society, and also in the ancient history of humankind. And as always, your questions are super, super, super welcome. But before we start, please trust us that this live stream will be amazing and just leave a like on this live stream so that you can help us to grow and reach new people that may be interested in what we are bringing here. Okay, so I will start since I see that people are already joining, asking a first question that help all of us to better understand the topic of tonight. So, Gnomo and Opossum, be ready. When we when art and magic meet together, when they start to be in a relationship, these two alchemical elements, what happened? How can we describe to someone, think about me, that don't know anything about this amazing meeting between art and magic? What happened and how can we explain this phenomenon to someone? Just with you, through your experience, through your words, through your research, let us understand at the beginning of these talks what are these two elements and what happens when they start to integrate and meet each other. You can begin Gnomo and then Opossum, and sometimes we can start with Opossum or Gnomo, depending on who want to say something.
Okay. Thank you very much for this question, because it's very interesting to open in this way our talk. First of all, Opossum is an artist, so I will more interested to talk about the other side of the question. So in this way we can enrich this discussion in the best way. I think we have to, first of all, we have to point out that emotion and art are connected. We cannot have art without emotion. Art is a way to trigger the emotions of the people. Why I'm pointing up this aspect? Because magic and emotions are connected. Maybe in some way we can say that the difference between the modern idea of science and the idea of magic is that magic is a science with emotion and not only science. So it's a combination between numbers and love. It's not only numbers. In this way, using this different approach for thousands of years, all over the world, using the magic was possible to achieve a very higher level of expression of human being. This is my first the aspect I want to put on the table.
Thank you, Gnomo. Opossum, our artist of the meeting. Let's help us to understand more about art and magic.
So since the, how can I say, ancient times, art has been always very connected with magic, even with the behavior of science Gnomo were talking about. So in the ancient times, arts and magic were not divided between a line as in the ages as the ages of nowadays, especially because how can I say, arts is a perfect way to express magic. In the very ancient times, for example, in the Neolithic or Paleolithic paintings in the caverns, the artist painted the hunter who takes the bull or the antelope in order to nourish the family, in order to nourish the population. And painting them, they were making that so particular action, which is an action which is very connected with magic, which is a similar response to similar, in order that the hunted animal helped the hunter in hunting the animal. So the painting was something as a magical operation, if you understand what I mean. Painting it is the same of the hunter take the animal hunted. But not many centuries ago, for example, in ancient Greece, the word art and the word magic and the word science weren't different words. It was translated with techne. So the art and technique is the same thing, in order to express divine behavior inside of the human. So the artist is, in this case, the most important translator of the spiritual idea into the forms. So it is a scientific operation in this way. It is the 18th century, where from the 18th century in the Western world, where this division started between science, art, magic, into different topics. But in the ancient world, even in the Middle Ages, was the same thing.
Thank you, Apostle. So both of you start to say that art, magic, science, all these topics may be connected, but they have been divided. I want to ask you something. Since many of the people that are following us, for maybe someone that has seen most of our live stream, they may ask to ourselves, okay, now that is the 2024, and I'm doing a spiritual journey. I'm following a spiritual path, let's say. And in this journey, as a person that want to use spirituality to grow and evolve in my life, the role of the art, in this case, connected with magic, what it's really, why it's useful now, this concept, this element in my life, how can I use art to evolve or to do something? I know it's a provoking question, so I'm provoking asking this, but I think it's the important point that the people may ask. I'm living in a big city and I'm doing a spiritual journey. Why should I integrate art and magic in my life? What this could change in my life? So, starting also from your experience or from your perspective, let us understand how these elements can really affect our spiritual journey. If it's yes or if it's not. Gnomo, Opossum, who wants to start?
Go ahead, Opossum.
I think art is important as the plumber or the electrician in our society. The electrician is fundamental. Obviously, he is or she is. The plumber is fundamental, but art is the thing that you can do, but it is seen, I'm exaggerating, obviously. It is seen as a thing which is not fundamental, which is not a fundamental element of life. So if there is, okay. If there isn't, even better sometimes. And that's why humanity is losing its humanity. So that's why our spirit is going to be divided by our inner part of the human race. So art could be, especially when it is made with other people. So especially when you make something with other, play or do a pie for your friends who are going to arrive, or doing the decoration of curtains or the tablecloths for for the for an invitation of your friends, or else could become, or I have to say must become, a fundamental thing of our life. So I don't know how a person could use art, because art could be cooking, could be singing meanwhile you are going to school. But I think moreover is to put a meaning inside of your actions. Put a meaning inside of your daily actions. That's art. So you can do, I'm exaggerating the example, but you can do a meeting at school with a school director with art, and you can paint a painting or a digital Photoshop image without art. So it depends by the meaning, and so the spirit you put inside of your actions. That I think it is art, and I think it is strictly connected with the consciousness. And it's not religious. Could be also very like consciousness, or a very religious consciousness. Depends by the thoughts of the persons.
Thank you, Apostle. Gnomo, what do you want to add to this topic? What's your opinion talking about the modern age? I see your microphone now, it's muted. Yeah.
Joking.
It was an artistic joke.
I think we can add something about, again, emotions and evolutions. Today, doing an example, today when people want to win in the work, in the job, they have to evolve. They have to increase their own specializations if they want to become a pro. So they have to start from A point to B point to C point, moving and evolving in order to increase the specialization and so on. So for the spiritual path is the same. If we want to grow, we have to change ourselves. Art and the combination between art and magic is a way to evolve, to understand that I can still search and found something more in my life, that my conquests, my comfort zone, it's only a new stage where I have to start from, reach another level. So the combination between art and emotion, especially the use of the art in some way, is a way to have a challenge with yourself, to change and to evolve. An artist cannot continues to be an artist if he's not growing. Only repeating themselves, it's a printer. It's not an artist. Okay, so art is always something new. Sometimes is a scandal. Artist must be a scandal also. It means that we are to continue change our position, risking taking a challenge. This is very connected with magic. Magic in the original, in the pure meaning, is a challenge with yourself, is a way to enrich God, is a way to purify your real and your pure essence beyond cultures, beyond education, beyond everything. Magic is a way to achieve the beyond for you and for the other people. It's also connected with a larger vision. I think that if an alchemist of the Middle Age it's come here with a time travel, it will be very amazed by the big selfishness we have today all around the world. The world of today is a world where many people are very focused on themselves, are selfish, because we have a lot of fears. This is something that in the past was not in this way. And so magic is also a way to go beyond fears. I think that this is the connection between art and magic. In the daily life, we always have to challenge with, something that change, risks, disease, work, relationships. So it's a constant challenge every day. I think that this is the moment in this new age to reconquer the connection between the pure essence we have, that is completely different from the needs we have, from the fears we have. That's why art still exists. Also, Opossum was pointing out that art, it seems not so necessary, but all the people around the world are still searching for art. They are still loving art. They are still trying to do art. Why? Why we are still trying to do something like that? Because it's very important for our evolution.
And thank you, Gnomo. Following what you were saying, I want to ask you, going now to Opossum. Sometimes we do say in Damanhur that an artist is a medium. Connected with also what we are saying now, I want to ask you first, what does it mean when we say that an artist is a medium? And second, to both of you, asking what in your fantasy and your imagination would be the role of an artist today, nowadays, 2024, with all that is happening in our geopolitical world? What should do an artist? What should be the role of the function of an artist in this modern society? But first, help us understand when we do say that an artist is a medium.
Hey, depends. For example, some artists are medium, some other large, as me. I'm joking about it.
I just got it now. It took a few seconds to me to got it.
Some are medium, but not. Depends by eating. The role, it depends by the art the artist does, because how can I say, the most important goal of the art, I think it is to transmit a message. So if an artist is a painter of the temples of the humankind, for example, it is to transmit a message that the human being is a spiritual principle inside of the world of the forms and so on. If the artist is a manager, it is to manage in the best way the money of the community for higher goals. If the artist is I don't know, is an NLP trainer, it is to lead the coaches in a direction of growing. So depends. there is a ancient Zen little story where a doctor asked to the Zen master what he can do to achieve, to fulfill his own mission in his life. And the Zen master told him, "You have to do the doctor." "Yes, I know, but how can I achieve it? How can I fulfill my mission in this life?" "You have to do the doctor." So it is very Zen. So it is not a Western idea of spirituality. It's more Eastern idea of spirituality, where sometimes it is very clean, and the pupil has to discover what does it mean, that kind of speech. But I think it's real. So to tend to consciousness, we need a knowledge to arrive to consciousness. And the knowledge in this life is what we do. So if an artist is a writer, the writer, I think, has to bring persons to dream something of more than the world of the forms, to transmit a message that the human being is a creator, so can create everything he wants or she wants. That I think. So it depends by the artist. Everyone can be an artist. Everyone, also if he's a painter or a musician, could also not be an artist. Could be a worker, a decent worker, but not an artist. The artist is that person who puts the meaning inside of that operation he is doing or she's doing, and in that moment creates a new occasion for people around him or around her.
Thank you.
It's my personal opinion.
Sure. Going to Gnomo, I want to ask you, Gnomo, your point of view. I take the chance to say also this discussion that we've made in the live stream, the Italian live stream with Arciere and Stambecco. We were saying a couple of days ago, like nowadays the artist is more individual. The art that they are expressing is more connected with a personal storytelling. Before, the art was connected with common storytelling, maybe from a native people, from a larger culture, and so on. So the artist was connected with an environment, a cultural environment, spiritual environment, and so on. Now it's more an individual thing. I share my personal story. I'm not anymore sharing something larger. What do you think about it? Is it true? And again, now I introduce the question that I've done before. What should be the role of the artist and the magician right now in the society? What, in your dream, in your fantasy, what they should do? What is their function nowadays to really help us evolve? Gnomo, and then
yes, again, we have to talk about selfishness. We have to talk about
selfishness, exactly.
We have to talk about the difference between an original idea of what means to do magic and to do art. Yes, today, because art, magic, it's always an expression of human being. So it depends of how human being is expressing themselves. So today, human being is very focused on themselves. It's very focused on, it's selfish. And so the art and the expression of magic is something related with selfishness. And this is a way to reduce or to destroy the power we have. Okay, because the people that really are working and expressing the magic and the art, they know very well that human being is a larger creature, all connected. And as a body, if only one cell of an organism start to work believing that is the only one that exists, we are talking about tumors. We're not talking about, evolution. As a body, it's the same. And so the role in the near future will be, I think, the challenge to recombine together me and us in terms of the consciousness, something that also in the modern physics it's already achieved. The consciousness that the universe, it's all connected and we are all connected. So if I want to achieve something, seems like, absurd, but I will win if I will achieve something that is not only useful for me, but also for others. Also for me would be better and better, but it's not so easy to shift our mind to this news aspect that is not so new. So magic and arts are connected with this consciousness of a connection that is present all over the universe. Beauty is a way to express connection, not only symmetries, but also connections. So I think that this is the focus. The focus, the difference between a personal point of view and a larger point of view. As you described, today there is still this very modern idea that the artist is a soul person. Many times is something that someone that have to suffer, someone that had to struggle to produce art. So art equal to suffers. If an artist is happy, it's not easy to express art, because art must be the expression of a struggle. This is a very modern and not so complete idea of art. But I don't want to enter too much in this aspect, because it's Opossum can explain it better than me. I want only to point out that like the model science is explaining to us, it's so showing to us there is a strong connection between the consciousness of the interconnection between everything and the expression of magic and art.
Thank you, Gnomo. Opossum, following what Gnomo was saying, what would you like to add to this?
Yeah, I perfectly agree.
Which is super interesting.
Yes, I think by one hand we are in something as in new Middle Ages, just because we talked about the Middle Ages. By another hand, we are in a sort of black period of humanity. And for this reason, this could be a perfect moment for reveal the humanity. And the revealing and rebirthing of humanity passes certainly through a collective idea of the humanity, which means that by one hand, the person is a person. So with her own needs, passions, emotions, and so on. But in the same time, he or she recognizes himself or herself inside of a wider idea of humanity. And that's one of the peculiarities of the age of Aquarius, the famous age of Aquarius. So as Gnomo noticed very well, the importance is the challenge of this age, I think, for an artist. It is to be much more, how can I say, much more generous with his or her life, in order to make something which goes out of his or her normal life. For example, I'm thinking to a book or to an artwork, which you do to make a gift to the future, to your brothers, to humanity, and so on. So it is an idea which is contained very well, for example, in some texts of the ancient times, where the writer and the person who made recipes for colors, just to make an example, didn't make it for himself, but to make a handbook which is useful for all the painters of the cathedral, just to make an example. So it is true that the monk called Theophilus wrote a handbook for the ancient techniques. But maybe Theophilus was not his real name. Was a name to say the God, lover of God, and in the name of God, he wrote a text useful for all the painters and for all the sculptures, if you understand what I mean. So it is important, I think, in this age to be more connected with this idea of consciousness of collectivity, because we are part of this collectivity. I am part of the flower I have on the table. So it is very, very important to switch this idea of personal into a wider idea of the part of the mirror we are coming from.
Thank you, Possum. Gnomo, you point me out before that you want to talk about the science, the relationship with science and magic and art. Can you please share with us your research and thoughts about this topic?
Yes. First of all, I have to point out that the idea to divide magic and science, it's a very modern approach. In the ages of Galileo, Newton, and other researchers, or Leonardo da Vinci, and so on, there was not a division between one expression of knowledge, like to be a doctor, or to be an alchemist, or to be a scientist. It's a very modern, because today we invented the specialization. I think that the idea of specialization is very connected with the selfishness we have. So creating a lot of curtains, a lot of customs, a lot of divisions between different talent or different expression of our talent, to be more correct, is a way to divide and to destroy the real power we have. An artist is many times the real artists are people that are going beyond limits, that they don't take care about the limit between one aspect and another. That's why they become artists. That's why they touch the emotion of the people, because they go beyond. So today, I want to give you another example. Today, there are a lot of people in the neuroscience that are trying to understand what the brain is, what mind is. To be more correct, what the brain is. Okay, what is the real functions and work of the brain, of our brain? What they discovered is that it's not possible to face this challenge to really understand the brain using only one approach as a doctor or as a scientist. So there are many groups, many teams all around the world working around neuroscience, where they put together the painter, the poet, the musician, the doctor, the physics, the scientist, because they have to approach our mind, our brain, with many points of view at the same time. So let's imagine that in the past, there was this kind of approach to life, 360 degrees vision about life, not so specialized, not so short as today. And that's why also in the modern physics, there are many researchers, many physicians that they are going beyond the idea of science, and they come to be also mystical people. They understand that it's not possible to really understand the universe, our universe, if we only are focused on one aspect, only math, only physical expressions, and they go beyond everything in order to understand what really is gravity, what really is electromagnetism, and so on. Okay, so this is the aspect that can distinguish the artists and the magicians and the scientists of the past. One last example. In the last century, I think in I don't remember, but between the First and the Second World War, they discovered and they sell, I think Christie's did it, the very large production of documentation and researches of Isaac Newton. When they discover all that papers, was that the 75% of the work of Isaac Newton was about alchemy, and only the 25% was about science. We remember Isaac Newton as a scientist, but actually it was an alchemist. And
Wow.
inside the work as an alchemist, of course, he worked around science and gravity. Okay.
Thank you, Gnomo. Thank you. I think this is very related to what we were saying, connecting with the meaning of an artist, arts, and the selfishness that we were pointing out that is nowadays very strong in our culture. But I take the chance now to ask you, both of you, a very interesting question that may entertain me and all the people that are watching this live stream, because I know, at least, that Damanhur do says quite often that we are a people of artists. We are a popolo of artists. And I want to ask you, if I say so, now Opossum and then Gnomo, when we say Damanhur is a popolo of artists, what episode, what story, what comes to your mind? I mean, share us a moment that you have lived with Damanhur where you really felt that Damanhur is a popolo of artists. Something that can let us feel the emotion. It can be even, I mean, an episode, a funny episode or a serious one. I mean, whatever. It comes to your mind when we say that Damanhur is a people of artists. You can start Opossum and then Gnomo.
Many episodes. Many episodes. I think just because you asked what comes in my mind when you asked us this, I think to theater. Theater in Damanhur is a very, very important moment, because in our idea, theater is near to the idea of a concert. A concert is not just a musical concert in our tradition, but is a moment of collective art. So there are the scenographies, there are the place where we do the concert, which is a place we built. The open temple, the underground temple, the sacred woods, and so on. So for this reason, I think is much more a unique occasion than a very large occasion all over the world, because normally an actor or a painter or a person who works in theater goes to the theater, which is a property of I don't know, the Warner Bros. In our tradition, the theater is made by the Damanhurians because is for example the open temple. And also, if in the past, especially, we were not professional in a particular topic, just to make an example, this example, theater, many Damanhurians discovered talents in that way. I remember many years ago, I think 25 or even 28 years ago, we made a spectacle with Gnomo, I remember, the 7 Scarlet Doors. It has been very funny. But in the same time, it has been a very strong moment of transmitting a message. So a myth, because a myth is the myths are the nourishment of a people. So that's why it is so important for us to make concert or spectacles, as you prefer. Spectacles, not the glasses in the ancient English.
Yeah.
There is the music, the chorus. In the chorus sing many persons who maybe are painters, but also cookers or lawyers or cleaners of schools or teachers or else. So in the theater, in our idea, the ages of the actors must be different if it's possible, and the arts must be different. Yesterday has been the meeting with Stambecco and Arcere, who are two famous writers of Damanhurian theater, also if with different point of view. So it is very important because it puts together different aspects of a same meaning, which is that we are spiritual principles inside the so-called world of the forms. So I think under this point of view, theater is the best.
Thank you. Opossum Gnomo, what pop-ups in your mind when we talk about Damanhur as a couple of artists?
For me, this question is very simple to answer to this question. In my point of view, I think that the most important piece of art and expression of art of Damanhur is the community. In terms of when you look when you see a paint, I don't know, the Gioconda or some every other beautiful painting, if you go very close to the painting, you will see many disordered point of colors. Okay, and this is what we feel in the Damanhurian community for the entire entire story of Damanhur. Many challenges, a lot of effort. It's not easy to to stay together, to live together. It's something for the men of today all over the world. Living in a community is a challenge because you have to work around your selfishness. But so the feeling is to be in front of something that it's really not ordered, that's not complete, that is not perfect, that is not that's not beautiful. But if you look at Damanhur as a complete project, as many other people all around the world are giving us as a feedback, which seems like a beautiful project. So in general, looking at the complete spectrum of our expression of the community, it seems like a piece of art. So the effect, the result in complexity of decades of effort, of hope, that is possible to change the world. So emotion, feeling of to have a mission, expression of a daily effort. This created in 50 years a sort of piece of art, the community of Damanhur, to send a message, as every artist do to the world, that something that seems like almost impossible is possible. We can be a community. We can live together without killing each other.
Exactly. Okay, so I think we are at the end of our thought today. As always, I just want to ask you very briefly, Gnomo and Opossum, to underline, point out what do you feel is the message in a sentence or a few sentences of this live stream. What would you like to underline at the end of this conversation that it almost lasts 50 minutes? So really the concept that you really want to underline. Gnomo or Opossum, who is feel more inspired to start?
Go ahead, Opossum.
Opossum, we feel you very inspired.
I think that the importance of this meeting, it is that the human being is a spiritual experience. Life is a spiritual experience, and that the world of the forms is, as the ancient Indians wrote, a world of illusions. So it's not real. It is a world, it is a field, it is a territory where you can change things as you want. And for this read, they called the world of Maya, the world of illusions. Curiously, very famous art critic called Ananda Kentish Kumaraswamy called Maya, the world of Maya, not the world of illusions, but the world of art. Because in his idea, he was an Indian, no, not Indian, not really Indian, an art critic from Ceylon, from Sri Lanka. But he lived many years in England and in the USA. Because art is a way, in his idea, to transmit a message and to transform reality. So what is reality could be also another thing. Why? Because the artist can transform reality in what he or what she wants.
Completely.
that's why we to achieve to arrive to a particular consciousness, personal consciousness or collective consciousness, as we prefer. In our life, we have to remember that we are a spiritual principle doing an experience inside of the world of illusions.
Thank you, Opossum Gnomo. Let us share and feel your final message.
I think that today human being has to re-achieve the power to dream and the power to create, because we are full of fears and full of needs to, okay, instead of I love to create, I love to express art and so on. So we have to shift from the needs to the dreams, and art and the idea of magic, the idea of to be more connected to intuitions, to emotions, to something that is beyond. It's a key. It's a very important key to achieve this a different approach to life.
Thank you, Gnomo, as well. So I think we are at the end of our live stream. As always, I remind you that below the video that you are watching now, you can find all the infos to come to visit Damanhur, experience our courses, maybe visit us to do some art, and so experience also this side of Damanhur. And exactly. And if you want to share this live stream with your friends and people close to you, please do it again, so you can help us to grow and reach as many people as we can, sharing all this conversation. So thank you, Opossum, thank you, Gnomo, and thanks to all the people that has watching us today.
Entello,
Yes,
can I add very short news?
Sure.
As many people they discovered this week, we started to transmit also the meetings of our researchers, the Damanhurian researchers. From this week, we started again to transmit all over the world our weekly meeting where we show all the researchers of the Damanhurian. So I want to invite all the people of the community also to have a look on this new production of Damanhur. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gnomo. Thank you, Opossum. Con voi. See you next month. Con voi.